Hi guys, today I'm going to show you, I think this might be a rather interesting PvP between what I think I saw at the loading screen was two Masters League players, of course, one of them being our very own Tydrokos in the upper left-hand corner, and in the lower right-hand corner, a blue toss by the name of Duces. And it looks like both players are kind of talking about MLG, Bomber versus Ghost User, ha ha ha. LMAO. I'm probably gonna have to check that out and see what was so funny. I actually was a little too busy to watch the MLG event, and well, I was kind of butthurt about it, but I don't want to talk about it too much. But you know, I'm a little curious to see just how this is gonna go in Heart of the Swarm. I've seen one interesting PvP on Bel'Shir Vistage already. Downloaded it from the front page of drop.sc, and frankly speaking, I did enjoy it. It was a relatively new strategy. SC2 is at 125,000 viewers right now. League of Legends is at 80. Yeah, so that's something to get hyped about, guys. It seems like games are lasting longer between pros in SC2, Heart of the Swarm. But yeah. Alright, and so far both sides of the map not opting to do anything too terribly silly this early in the game. I seem to bring this up every game that I cast, but yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about Tydro for a minute. I know I'm not following his pro, but I do want to bring up that he's a pretty chill, pretty laid-back guy, and he seems to know like all of the in-between-the-lines things for esports, like the things that I would not expect him to know. I mean, for the GSL, by the way, we do have double gas going down for Duces, so what this could be is basically, this means we're going to see some early advanced facilities, if you will, from Protoss. I don't know how else to label it. We're either going to see a Citadel, Stargate, or a Robo Bay. Of course, those are the only three that you can go with, but if I had to put my money on something, I would say maybe some Blink Stalkers. It looks like, ooh, a couple of probes get pulled off the line there by accident for Duces. Not the line, but of course, the, what do you call that? The assimilator. Anywho. Speaking of, Tydro just put down his own second assimilator. Typically, what I see with this is usually a Robo Bay, more often than not, 9 times out of 10. But it could also mean a Stargate play at this stage. And if he scouts what Duces is doing, he may just be so tempted to go with the Twilight Council himself. It just depends. I'm banking on Twilight Council play from Duces, but that's not a guarantee by any means. Let's see, and we do have probes getting chrono boosted out, and that's why. We also have the Mothership Core in production right now. Duces really wants to see what Tydro's up to. And, well, let's just kind of sit back and watch the show unfold. One thing I will highlight is that instead of going with the, I want to say, MVP Lure Blink Stalker style, which is when you take take double gases before the Cybernetics Core, and then you put 2 probes on each assimilator. I believe we saw Duces go straight ahead and push for 3 probes on each gas. I'm not sure what entirely this is opting for. The second gateway is already down for Tydro. He's going to go ahead and move out and just see what Duces is up to. And here it is, Duces going for a Stargate. I did say I was banking on Twilight Council play. That is not, you know, I won't deny that. But of course, it looks like I'm wrong again. And it looks like it's just the opposite. Tydro is actually going for a Twilight Council. So the Mothership Core is going to come in here, and it's going to see just what Duces is up to. Typically, what I see with this kind of play, when I see a double gas taken that early, is usually it'll be a Twilight Council from the side of the map that Duces represents. But now Duces is also tacking on more gateways. Sentry is actually coming out and chasing away the Mothership Core. It looks like Duces didn't want to take out a Sentry from Tydro. I guess, you know, when it comes to a mirror matchup, Mothership Core is actually quite critical. Stalker's coming in, and that's actually a lot of damage that Tydro is inflicting on it. It could probably easily be focused down later on during engagements. You know, it would be a valuable snipe for Tydro, and this is interesting right here. I never would have guessed it would have been a Dark Shrine. So from now on, I'm just, you know, I don't understand this game anymore, guys. I'm just not going to try and predict each player's play in a PvP anymore. So we do have an Oracle now on the way for Duces, but what we don't have from him is any form of detection. He doesn't know that this is here. The last thing he saw was actually just the mothership core. He's going to have to send that Oracle back in ASAP. Actually, that's not back in, just in, to really see what Tydro is up to. Now, we do have a pair of Oracles. What I do know is just 2 of them are capable of dealing out a great deal of damage on a mineral line. These 2, if there's not enough anti-air at home for Tydro, could end up taking down, you know, up to 10 probes or even more than that. But behind this, we do have Tydro expanding as well, so he'll be able to replenish his probe count faster than that of Duces. Duces is already, what you could say, is classically oversaturated. He has 24 out of 24 workers, and he's kind of just continuing to crank him out. The Dark Shrine did just finish up. It's right here. And now there's 2 DTs on the way for Tydro. Okay, so the Oracle, do they have the ability to detect, if I'm not mistaken? I believe they do. Yes, Envision, but it costs 50 energy, and they're both over here dealing out damage on the mineral line. It looks like they didn't get enough workers in that. Only 6, and now here the DTs come from Tydro, and we see Duces in a tough position right now. Did he lose the second Oracle? He did not. Coming back home already. And he's doing what he can to save his mineral line, but the question is, what are the DTs going to work on? It actually took me a while to identify that. He wanted to kill a pylon, supply block Duces. Well, actually that wouldn't have worked out. He's actually trying to get the structures that are powering the most critical units right now. Excuse me, the most critical structures. And there it is, Envision just got activated on the Oracle, and those DTs were dealt with. Right now, one thing that I do want to bring up is that Tydro is actually significantly down in supply. He's ahead in worker count right now, so he actually, you know, he's just got to play the next few minutes really defensively, really smoothly, and he should be able to come out ahead of his opponent, especially granted that Duces did not expo behind this. So we're going to have Tydro be able to tack on more gateways in the future. Those DTs did see the Void Rays, so the question is just how are we going to see this get followed up? Void Rays do get buffs against Stalkers, so I'm a little curious to see just how Tydro is going to hold off against this attack. There's a lot of Stalkers on the ground too, and there's a lot of Sentries, there's a lot of Zealots. Let's just look at the army supply right now. That is a massive lead from Duces. His army is about double the supply of Tydro's right now. Here we go. Sentries are here. We do have the Photon Overcharge on the second Nexus. It looks like he'll be able to hold off for just a little bit longer. And he's stalling for time. He's actually doing quite well here. And now we see Duces kind of opting to pull back. I think that would have been an excellent point in time for Tydro to send just maybe 1 or 2 DTs to the mineral line of his opponent again, as he did see that the Oracle was actually pulled and there are no more in production. His opponent is just continuing to crank out Void Rays, which can be a powerful strategy. And speaking of DTs, one of them did just try to sneak by. It didn't work out because we have this Oracle on Envision. The question is, how much longer does that last? 60 seconds. Okay, so the cooldown is going to go for about 30 more seconds, and there's the DT that I was talking about, the one that I said Tydro should have made, and it's going to go to town on the mineral line while Tydro tries his damnedest to hold his natural here. You know, Duces is really playing on borrowed time right now. We can see the DT is back in the main. There's no detection at home. He's actually in a huge heap of trouble right now. His income is basically 0 right now outside of gas. It looks like that DT is going to focus down the Nexus, and everything is kind of being pulled back home. No, actually, just the Oracle is going to go in, activate Envision, and it looks like we're going to see Tydro sacrifice some probes. Or not Tydro, Duces sacrifice some probes to basically destroy this. There it is. Yeah, he did kind of put his guys back on the line quite early. And, and because the Oracle is not with the main army of Duces right now, we actually see Tydro doing what he can to wither down his opponent's main force on the ground, which is mostly Zealots. And now the forward pylon being taken down by these DTs. Might have been just, I don't know what the word is, an overcommitment by Duces trying to take the front line. And these DTs need to be pulled back, otherwise they are going to get toasted, and they are not cheap, guys. So here we go. Tydro actually following this up finally with some Blink. He's had a Twilight Council now for about 5 to 8 minutes. And here we go, the Zealots, the DTs, everything's going toe-to-toe with everything else. And Prismatic Alignment has been activated on the Void Rays. They're taking down quite a few Stalkers very quickly, and the question is, who's going to be able to hold here, and just how's it going to work out? We have Tydro warping in more Void Rays, or excuse me, warping in more DTs, and he's got, he doesn't have Photon Overcharge activated on his Nexus. Instead, he chose to go with the Time Warp. And it looks like he may just be able to hold here. He's actually taking down the ground force of his opponent quite well. Is he going to try and warp these DTs into, yes, an Archon? And they will be able to take down the Void Rays if they can come out in time, but we need to see some Zealot, or excuse me, some Stalker reinforcements come into play ASAP. They get Archon getting a couple of swipes out on the first Void Ray, and it looks like it gets taken down, but the Void Ray actually focusing down the Stalkers, and there we go. The GG from Duces. You know, I want to say this is actually a bit more of an exciting game. There was a lot of probes that were killed in the process, and a DT actually came back in here. Looks like I did miss that while the main engagement was going on, and altogether the workers' loss came to about 12 for Duces. They were all killed by Tydro's DTs. You know, he's just you know, kind of a sick Masters League Protoss once you think about it, but this is one of those interesting metas that seems to be coming out with Heart of the Swarm. Alright, so if you guys liked what you saw here, just go ahead and subscribe to the to my channel. Basically, I love going to town on the eXeA replays that I get. And I'll see you guys next time.